Hot diggity. We are live. Jack's got his squirrely dude. Just decided to bring it to me just seconds before we go live here. Uh, Welcome everybody to another CNC Q A Podcast. This is episode 41, and it is dadgum hot. As you can tell, I'm in my office doing this live tonight. It is, well, let's just see what it is. I checked a little while ago. Oh, get off of there. Get off of there. It is currently here in, it's all the way down to 90, but it feels like 103 with the humidity, 68% humidity. Just, just pretty rough. But let me bring my crew in here. Howdy, guys.
Hey,
Howdy. Ryan, you're looking kind of festive tonight. What is that?
yeah, I just got back. I went to the local baseball game.
You went to a what?
The baseball game,
Oh, okay.
the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars.
Flying boxcars. Boy, that just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. Oh, it's great. Really wonderful.
Okay, well, did they win?
I don't know. I left in the fourth inning.
Oh, okay. All right.
Last night,
Well, I'm glad you're here. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Paul, what have you got going on with you?
I have been busy this week, but not cleaning. I haven't
Well, heck
cleaned.
no, not cleaning.
But I did finish this, and what this is a paint tray or a paint storage thing. My grandson is into a game called Warhammer, and you buy these little characters and then you paint them, and this is what holds the paints for them. And while after I did that, I thought, well, heck, he buys these characters. I bet you I can 3D print them. So I 3D printed this little guy here. Get it up here by the camera there. I printed that guy. And I thought, boy, it's awful small. And so I made him a little bit bigger. I scaled him up a little bit and printed that one. And I'll give them both to him and ask him which is the best one for
the small one.
his purpose.
Yeah, I think they do the small ones.
The small ones?
Yeah. From what I understand, a lot of people do those figures with the resin printers.
Yeah, they do. Yep, but I don't have a resin printer.
Yeah, in detail.
So I'm going to tell him that I can print them like that, and he can buy a set of these little files at Harbor Freight, and he can perfect my 3D prints.
There you go.
Okay.
Or he could get into 3D printing, but I'm not going, or into resin printing, but I'm not going to.
Hey, Ryan. I see your microphone is right in front of you, but you're sounding like you're far away. I'm wondering if it's.
Yeah, it's probably got me on the wrong thing. Let me check.
Because I just checked your volume and I got you cranked all the way up, and I'm still having trouble.
There we go. This stupid thing. Should be better now.
Okay, yeah, that sounds better.
Good times.
All right.
Now, for sure, you can hear me sound like crap.
Well, I hope I'm on the right one, because usually in here, this is the only one that will pick up. That one on the camera doesn't usually get it, but I use this one here for when I'm narrating videos a lot, so it's usually the default one.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, well, I don't know about you guys, but I got quite a bit of stuff. I told Paul I was sitting in the recliner earlier, just chilling and watching some YouTube stuff, and I thought, man, I haven't even prepared for the show at all. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. So then
it's like being on Saturday night.
I know. Old habits die hard, I guess. But then I got my notepad and I thought, all right, well, let me see if I can figure out what we're going to talk about. And then I thought of something and I wrote it down. And that made me think of something else. And then the next thing you know, I told Paul I got like about a half page list of stuff here. Maybe we'll get through most of it here anyway. But first of all, let me, today's a pretty special day. Um, if you're a what is it? Molly Mill. That's what it's
Molly Mill.
Yeah.
Molly Mill fan. Uh, I just happened to stumble across it. I had gone to the Cadence Manufacturing and Design website, and he had a thing where, I knew he was going to try to get them out this month. So I thought, well, I'm going to sign up to get notifications when they're ready because I don't want him to sell out real quick and then I miss out on. Well, I never got a notification, but I guess it was probably because of accident. I think Cody did something by accident and did the pre-order thing, and somebody had mentioned it on Facebook, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh well, let me go. If you can pre-order, let me go do that. And then I found out that was a mistake, that he didn't mean to have it that way. He was going to do it, have it go live today. So today is, I think I hadn't gone to check, but he said he was going live with them today, where you can go order them.
They are.
I've already got my 1/8 and quarter inch Molly Mill bits ordered, and I even hinted around I wouldn't even mind having a 1/2 inch if he decides to run one of those. But anyway, so discount code for the Cody Man's bits is right there in the upper right hand corner. So if you hadn't got yours, go get them. Get them while you can. Tell you what I did. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it anyway. We talked a little bit about Etsy last week,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, all right, I'm done. Because it doesn't affect me anyway. I don't buy off of Etsy. I don't sell on Etsy. I don't care much about Etsy, other than the hubbub that's been going on around. But anyway, so because I'd watched some videos, I guess last week, 2 or 3 of them popped up in my feed. And so I watched, I don't know, probably another 2 or 3 videos on Etsy. And now I guess the only thing I've figured out from watching these varied YouTube videos is that Etsy don't know what they're doing, because they come out and put that policy, kind of sneak it in somewhere. But then I guess the people that are answering their emails that they're getting, they don't know what they're supposed to say, I guess, because it's all a big cluster to me. Some of the folks that are doing YouTube videos are saying they're going to customer support or whatever, and they're getting answers that totally conflict with what the original thing was. So I don't know what's up with that, but like I said, doesn't affect me. I don't sell on Etsy. I don't buy anything from Etsy, so I don't really care. But it's but I keep seeing these videos pop up in my feed, and I thought, well, I don't know what they're doing. Like I said, apparently they haven't gave the memo to all the people that are answering the emails, because all of them have different things, But that's neither here nor there. Let's see what else I got on my list here. Yesterday, I watched another really good video from CNC Labs, Mr. Andy Lee. The video was called CNC Labs. Ryan's nodding his head. I bet he's seen it. CNC Labs approach to lead times and quality. That was a really good video where they even had stuff graphed out where they're really taking a hard look at this on how they can continue to get better. So that was a good video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Um, let's see what else I got on my list here. Oh, and speaking of CNC Labs, Ryan, I think you highlighted it last Saturday on your show. The Scott making that big old fishing lure.
Yeah.
Now I'm wanting to make a big old fish. I don't need a big old fish, but I just thought that was cool the way he did that.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I wish he would have talked about how he modeled it.
Well,
he didn't. I mean, there was no talking in that video whatsoever.
Yeah. It was a good video, but there wasn't, like you said, there wasn't any talking. But it looked to me like he did half of it, 3D card half of it, and then did the other half on another pic, because it looked like when he was holding it up there, it looked like it had a seam where he glued it together and before he sanded it and all. So, and that's probably the way I would do one if I was going to do one. But I'll have to look around and see if I can find a good model of a big old fish of some kind.
Yeah,
I don't even know what kind of fish that was he had. It was.
I was kind of surprised they didn't do it on a rotary, because they have a good sized rotary, and it looks. If I'm not mistaken, he did that with a 2x4, or maybe a 2x6.
Yeah, I think it was just a pine 2x4.
So that would fit.
And like I said, I guess he just sliced the model to get half of it, and then did the other half flipped over or whatever,
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. I really liked that when, and I had watched it before I saw you highlight it, but that was a good one that I saw on your show Saturday, and I really liked the hooks and all. It was pretty slick, and now it's got me wanting to do one. I'm like, Dave, you don't need a big old fish anywhere. You don't even go fishing.
You don't need a 6 foot tall rocket, but here we are with it partially on the printer behind you.
Yeah, and there has not been a single little teeny tiny part printed since the last time I did a show from in here, which has been a while. But yeah, that'll probably be another one of those things I probably get to that point. And that box right there is full of small parts that go to it. But there's still a whole bunch of stuff to do. That's a huge thing with a ton of parts and all. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't have started this one because it's going to cost a fortune in filament and all that to do it. And I don't really need a big old rocket. I just thought it was kind of cool. But who knows? Maybe if it sits around long enough, I'll finish it someday.
You can then mount it to the square drop trailer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
The rocket at one end and the fish at the other.
Yeah. All right. I already mentioned how hot it is here, and I guess it's hot pretty much everywhere. But I've about decided, and y'all probably won't be surprised at this, but I about decided that, I really want a G3 Masso Touch. I really want one of those.
Oh, yeah.
But I think there's something I want more.
Oh, no.
And that's going to be a portable AC. Anybody out there use a portable AC? Just the kind that you roll around and you can take the little hose and stick, a hole in the wall or on a window or something.
Yep. They're pretty popular. I was actually at this store 2 weeks ago called Aldi's. They do like overstock stuff. And I saw some guy steal one out of the store.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't think I could get that good a deal.
They took it, threw it in the back of their little red pickup truck, and took off.
Wow. Well, yeah, I was out there. Of course, I was trying to finish up the video. I had a video come out at 8 o'clock this morning, and I was trying to finish it up. And it was really hot yesterday, but today it was even worse. I was out. I went out there, I don't know, probably about 9 o'clock, and was out there till about 1. and that's about all I could take. It's just ridiculous. But I was working on. If you watch the video, I made a little router bit tray. Uh, but I don't have a drawer to stick it in yet. I haven't built any kind of storage area under my CNC bed, so that's something I was going to do. And I thought, well, you know what? I can make a little frame out of that 20 by 20 aluminum extrusion that I
Mhm.
had, from all that enclosure I made before. So I'm just kind of making a ladder frame to be able to span across the rails, and I think that's going to work. Now I'll just attach some um, plywood to it or something to make the little cabinet thing. But yeah, I was out there piddling around with that and not really working hard, just standing there screwing stuff together. And man, about 1 o'clock, I thought, that's it.
Yeah, it'll take you out.
I'm done. But I did have a little funny story to share with you tonight. My buddy, you always hear me talk about my buddy Jim. My good friend Jim, he lives, I don't know, probably a couple miles from me, not very far at all. And he called me up and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna come. You gonna be home? I'm gonna come by and see you." I said, "Yeah, you know me. I'm always here." He said, "Well, I got some tomatoes for you," and I had been craving a tomato sandwich. So he said, "Well, I'm gonna come by." Well, he come by. I don't know what time it was. Probably about 11 o'clock this morning. And of course, he hadn't seen my machine since I basically. Well, I guess you could say I'm finished with it. I'm still doing little stuff here and there. But as far as the machine running and stuff, it's pretty much done. And he hadn't seen it since when I was building it. But he comes over and he's looking at it, and I'm showing him my dust shoe, which, by the way, I'll talk about that more in a minute. But I really like that thing. Whoever, I forget who it was, recommended that to me. I'm really happy with that thing. But anyway, Jim comes over, and when I pull the dust shoe out of the way where he could see the router mount, or excuse me, the spindle mount, he goes, "Oh, you named her Jenny." I had taken one of the Jenny stickers that Cody sent me with my last order and stuck it right on the spindle mount there. And I said, "No," I said, "I didn't name her Jenny." I said, "That's a company that makes bits." And of course, I showed him the bits, and of course, he don't remember stuff like I do, but I've given him some Jenny bits before, so he knows how they work. But anyway, I thought that's funny. He thought because everybody keeps saying, "Well, what are you going to name her?" And I was like, "I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it." But he saw that sticker. He said, "Oh, you named her Jenny."
That's funny.
And then, of course, I had to tell him the story about how Cody, the first part number was 8675309, and of course he's old like me, so he remembered that song. But anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with that. What was it, $30, $40 dust shoe that I bought? And I can't even pronounce the name of it, the brand, but I'm really happy with that thing. If you've watched any of my videos, you've seen it uh, run on a couple of different programs now. Uh, I'm also super happy with my dog holes. I wasn't sure if I was going to like those or not, but I'm
Yeah.
really in those little 3D printed dogs to stick in the holes. It's just so nice because I pretty much keep a couple of them in there, and then you just know if you push something up against there, it's nice and straight. There's no,
Yeah.
and I like that because whenever I do use the CA glue and tape method, you know, I I purposely don't use accelerator. I just use the medium CA glue and then put a little pressure on it for a few seconds, and then that's it. But in the past, when you don't have something to butt it up against to make sure it's straight, it never fails. You'll be pushing on it to get that stuff set up, and right before it sets up, it shifts on you, and then you're crooked. And of course, then you got to pull the whole thing off and do
Yep.
it again. So now it's like, I can just take it, and if you watch that one video you saw, I just push it against those little dogs and then drop it down, and it's nice and straight, and worked really well for that project. So I'm really liking that, the dog hole decision, and the more dog holes, less T track. Although I have
Now those are one inch dog holes or 3/4.
I made them 3/4, and then I don't have any in here, but the dog is, it's 3/4 to go in the hole, but then there's about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch or so that's an inch diameter on top. So you got something to grab a hold of in fact, now with the humidity real high, that MDF swell up just a tad, and it's hard to get that dog out of there. So you got to take a screwdriver and kind of pry it under there to pop them out. But yeah, they fit really good. Real happy with that choice that I made.
Nice.
And of course, as long as I'm bragging about my machine, I can't say enough about that tool setter. Y'all remember back in the day, and maybe some of y'all still haven't added homing switches, but I can remember for years I never had limit switches. I never had homing switches. I didn't bother with soft limits. I just moved it around, and I knew it wasn't going to hit nothing, and I zero it out and go. And that's the way I did. I was just simple. Well, then when I finally got around to adding homing switches, which also served as limit switches on my Gatton CNC, and really the only reason I did that is because I'd always get a lot of questions on how do you do it. And I'm like, well, I can't tell anybody how to do it because I don't know. I haven't done it. Well, once I did it, I realized that it's really simple. It's not that hard at all. And the other thing I realized is once you go from not having them to having them, it's like, you probably don't want to go back to not having them. It's one of those little bells and whistle things that's really handy to have, especially if power goes out or something weird happens. You can always fire it back up, home it, tell it to go back to zero or go to your origin or whatever it says, and usually save your workpiece. So I really like that. Well, I have to say pretty much the same thing is true for a tool setter. And I can only imagine how dadgum nice a true automatic tool changer would be, like the Rapid ATC, or better yet, the PWN, $3,700 one or whatever. I mean, I can only imagine what that would be like. But just this tool setter, and again, if you watched any of the last couple of videos I did, you saw that thing in action, and it's so nice because it comes to, when it needs a tool change, I have it programmed to come right to the middle and the very front of the machine, so it's easy to get to. It's about 6 or 8 inches to the left of the tool setter, so when I get it done, you just stick it in there. You don't have to worry about trying to get it a certain height or whatever. You just stick it in there, whatever you want, hit cycle start, and it goes over and it's that tool setter, and then goes right back, takes off right where it left off. And you only have to set the Z with the probe that first time with the first tool. So I would now say, I don't like to recommend anything until I know what I'm doing and use it a little bit and realize the benefits of it. But I would say now, if anybody's thought about getting one of those but hadn't pulled the trigger, that one I got, and I think there's probably a link down below if you want to check the link. I think it was $32.99 or something. But you talk about making a CNC a lot of fun to run, or at least for me, because the other part of running it, saving your programs one tool path at a time, and
Yeah.
changing it and having to reset the Z with the probe every time and all that. And now that's all. Don't have to do any of that. It is a lot of fun to run the machine again, especially because I got the new machine build and all anyway. But yeah, I'm having a blast running that thing, and got a big. I just found it here a while ago. Got a big list of projects I'm going to be doing, and that's what made me think about, well, maybe I should get that portable AC, because it's going to be a rough summer if old Dave has to try to get out there and run these
It's true.
projects with this
You could
crate.
always put a mini split in and sell your other heater, and then you'd have heat and air conditioning both.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what those cost. I know they're probably a lot more than the portable ACs I've been looking at. Because when I bought my heater, I bought it from Northern Tool and Equipment, and they had, and I don't even remember the price. I don't even remember what they were, but they had one that would heat about 400 or maybe it was 450 square feet or something like that. Well, my garage is, I think it's 20 by 22, so it's a little over 400 square feet, but it has 10-foot ceilings in there. So I decided to err on the side of bigger, and I bought the heater that will heat 750 square feet. Well, I figure, because I know my garage door doesn't seal up real good. It's a garage. It's not going to be real sealed up when you close the door. So, looking at the ones I've been looking at, I could get one that's 14,000 BTU, which they said will cool 750 square feet. I think it was about $5.99, something like that, and that's doable for me. So
Um, so I'm looking at Amazon, and there's a mini split here, 12,000 BTU. It cools rooms up to 750 square feet, $459.
$459 for a mini split.
Yeah.
Now, what all is involved in putting those in?
Well, like I know the kinds that like Mr. Cool and stuff like that. The lines are all pre-charged. I haven't looked at this one to see what it is. But
Yeah,
it looks
but I mean, do you
similar.
have to cut a hole in the wall or anything like that?
Yeah. You run the condenser outside, and then then you hang the one, the unit inside. I have some upstairs in our attic area. They work out pretty well.
Yeah.
But,
Well, see, what attracted me to these portable ones is I've seen a few shops that have them,
yeah.
and most of the ones, if they're very big at all, they're on wheels, so you can just roll it around wherever you want, and all you got is like a vent hose. You put out either a hole in the wall or a window, and I have both. I got a hole in a spot where I could put it, and it'd be out of the way, and I'm not expecting it to get it down to 60 degrees out there. If I could just get it down to 80 would be great. But and I've always been able to take the heat better than I can the cold. That's why I don't have air, but I got a heater out there now. But man, when it gets this hot, this is a little extreme, even for me. So, because I go out there and I'll turn my floor fan on and have it blowing right, like I did today. I had it blowing right on me while I'm working with that aluminum extrusion stuff, and I'm thinking, well, this ain't too bad. But then the longer you're out there, it's like, whoo, it's getting rough. So, but yeah, I'm thinking about one of those. I know Lowe's and Home Depot both sell them. I saw when I looked it up, I saw them. Now there's a lot of ones on Amazon, but they're kind of no name stuff. So I don't know. I probably might try to just go with one from Lowe's or Home Depot. I'm not sure. But anyway, that may be an upcoming video. You get to see me stick a vent hose on a hole out in the
You
shop.
might be able to hook it right into the exhaust of the laser.
Well, I probably could cut it if I wanted to put it over there. I've got a different corner I'm thinking I'm going to put it in, but yeah, because I have just piece of plywood with that thing I 3D printed for the hose for the laser, and there's plenty of room on that plywood. I could put another hole on it beside it somewhere, but
Yeah.
but anyway,
Very cool.
yeah. I've thought about a mini split, but I thought, well, this would probably be an easier thing. And like I said, even though they're pourable, I wouldn't be, or I don't think I would be rolling it around. I think I'd probably just put it in one spot and run it to the wall, and that would be it. But anyway, thinking pretty serious about one of those instead of at least temporarily a Masso G3 Touch. Because I've convinced myself now that if I buy the Masso G3 Touch, I got to get that wiring module too. So there's another $250.
Oh yeah.
Then you got to get the tool changer.
Yeah, let's not jump ahead, Paul.
Hey, I have no problem spending your money.
I know. Usually I don't have no problem doing it, but I got to slow it down a little bit. Let's see what else have I got on here. Let me cross some stuff off I already talked about here. Tell me all what y'all know about Vectric's new Easy Carve. What do y'all think about that? You know what it is?
I've looked at it, and I'm close to pulling the trigger on it.
Are you now?
Yeah, I really am. It's
okay.
You're talking about the subscription, right?
Well, they have I didn't know much about it. Now it came out, I don't know, it's been a while. They've had a couple of videos out on it. But then I got to thinking about it today because again, something popped up on my YouTube feed and I thought, well, I think I know what this is, but let me check it out. And in my understanding, it's a browser app.
Right.
So you can sign up and they say you can log in if you've already got Vectric, you already got a password and stuff to get into your portal. So you can use that to log in, and then you can sign up for the free trial. I don't know how long it is, probably 30, 60 days, something like that. And then of course they have a subscription, which what I saw on there was $12.50 a month. I don't know if that's what you saw.
Or $150 a year if I'm
okay. That probably makes sense. But anyway, they're saying that it's powered by Design and Make, which I think I've actually got some models from them before because it's kind of tied in with Vectric in your what do you call it, your clip art and stuff. But it says it's powered by Design and Make, and there's 7,000 models to choose from.
Yeah,
which is pretty neat. But I just wondered what people were thinking about it. I mean, I know Vectric's a pretty smart company. They probably just didn't make this up for the heck of it. They probably had some feedback from people and know that this would be something people would want. But
I'd like to be able to, and I guess you could with a free trial, but I would like to go in and see what kind of patterns they have available.
Yeah. Well, free trial would probably allow that. But like most things, when it's a browser app type thing, I was looking through their frequently asked questions, and one of the questions on there was, what happens if you cancel the thing? Do you lose your what do they call it, programs or stuff? So it looks to me like everything is stored. I mean, it looks like you run it. You run your machine if you're connected to the internet. In other words, you'd have to be connected, I think, because somehow it's feeding the code that it's generating, but it's not bringing. In other words, you can't get the code
You're not
for it
downloading it
locally
to
on your
your.
machine. I'm thinking the design files and whatever post processor is spitting out the code for your machine. I think, and I might be wrong, but I think all of that stays in the cloud, as they like to say.
That's a good point. That's a real good point.
But
Yeah.
but that was one of the frequently asked questions. And somebody said, "What happens to my stuff if I stop my subscription?" And they said, "Well, you won't lose it because they'll keep them, but you won't be able to get them back unless you resubscribe." So,
Hmm.
some people are probably okay with that. I'm not the type that likes subscription. Well, I say that, and I've got a little $11.99 subscription to Design Spark Mechanical, but I do use that a lot. But and all this, my subscription, it's everything. All my files are local; they're not up on the cloud.
Yeah, that's an interesting point though that you make, is that because I didn't really look into that part of it that much, but if you don't keep your subscription and you lose everything, well, that doesn't seem too good.
Well, what if so? But you have to download the G code file, so you have all the G code. You're not running that live off of the internet.
Well, I don't know, because it says it tells you, like, it'll do the roughing pass, and it'll say put in your tool for your roughing pass, and then it it runs that G code, and then it says put in your finishing bit, and you run the finishing pass. Then you put in your cutout tool to cut it out. So I don't know how it works.
It sounds like it's like easel.
Yeah, that's
That's
kind
what
of
it
what
sounds
I'm
like to
thinking,
me.
Ryan. Now, see, this is what I looked at a little earlier today, and I guess it's all 3D models. I don't think it's anything else. I think it's all pretty much 3D models.
Yeah, that's what.
Again, I could be wrong, but let's see if I can find. Yeah, 3D machining. So that's what it is. Um, let's see if oh, here we go. Frequently asked questions. Can I download the 3D models as part of the subscription? You have access. Y'all can see this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just making sure. Uh, you have access to all 3D content within the Easy Carve app. Oh, wait a minute. You can download and save your tool pass,
Yeah.
but not the 3D model itself. So I guess if you can get the tool pass downloaded locally to your computer, then you would be able to run it as much as you want, I guess. Unless
Yeah,
they
it
have
would
somehow
be
have it set.
that same project you'd be able to run. You wouldn't be able to change anything about it, but
Yeah,
you
and
could
I'm
run
guessing still,
that
I'm
way.
thinking you might still have to be logged in with EasyCarve to make that G code work, even though you've downloaded to your machine. I don't know. I'll have to investigate further on this. Let's see. Trial period is not time or functionality limited. Will last indefinitely. We make the decision to remove your data after a sustained period of inactivity. Okay, all right. Can I export my projects? You can download your toolpath, but not the projects themselves. The models and projects can only be used with the EasyCarve web applications.
So that means your CNC has to be online.
I'm thinking so, Paul. Can I use 3D content I own in EasyCarve? Nope, it's only by what's Design and Make. So
did they buy Design and Make? Because that just shut down, didn't it? Or am I thinking what was that one that?
I think that was something else. I don't think that was Design and Make, because I think Vectric's always been. Well, if I open up my VCar Pro here, and let me slip it over here on this side. Now you can see my VCar Pro, right?
Yep.
Okay, see if you come right here, where is it? Clip art. Yeah, see, Design and Make has always been right here, kind of
Russ
tied in.
Meadows says it's always been a Vectric product.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right.
And I agree with Russ. He said earlier that he'd rather have it on his machine instead of them keeping it. And like
Yeah,
what
I did when I bought my Avid years ago. They as part of the purchase, they were doing a free 1 year subscription to Fusion 360. And I told them, I said, no, I don't need that. I'm a SolidWorks user. I still was using SolidWorks at the time. And then I got thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's free. Might as well get it. So I got the download, and you know how I am about Fusion 360. I can't stand Autodesk products, but they're too clunky, and I don't know. But anyway, I played around with it. But one of the things I didn't like is that you were only allowed so many projects based on what your prescription or subscription plan was.
Yeah.
Only allowed so many projects a month, and they held on to everything. So I didn't like that. I'm sorry, I'm not a cloud dude. I like stuff on my computer. Ain't nobody needs to see it but me. And that's just the way I roll. So, all right.
Yeah, I play the Fusion 360 Limbo, where I have to constantly, because I have the free one, like probably most people, and you have to play the game of making projects read only, and because you're only allowed 10 active projects.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about Fusion 360 is I went to use it yesterday, I believe it was, and it came on and it said that there was an upgrade. So I said, okay. And I went to upgrade it, and it did a bunch of funny things. And it came back and it says that my video card will not support Vectric or not support Fusion in the future after September.
Yeah.
So
here's that other thing I was talking about, Paul. It says, if I cancel my subscription, will I lose my projects? Your projects will remain on EasyCarve, in other words, the cloud, for up to 12 months after your subscription has lapsed. You can unlock them by resubscribing to EasyCarve. So I don't know. It might be a good thing for somebody, especially it looks like it's only for Design and Make 3D models. So, if you're really into 3D carving, this might be something you'd be interested in. But I don't know.
On the other hand, you can go to like, what is it, 3D Cult, and you can buy a lot of patterns for $150.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got. They're probably written on my list of projects to do, but I have got not a lot, but several 3D 3D models that I purchased from. And Russ Meadows knows this. He's the one that turned me on to the company, but I think they're in Moldavia or something like that. But it's 3D Wave,
3D Wave, that's what I was thinking of.
and
Yeah.
I've bought several things from them, and some of them I've carved once, and some of them I haven't carved at all. So I will be doing some of those. I've rounded them all up. I had them all over the computer, you know, with my great organizational skills. But I rounded them all up once and put them all in one place. So when I
Russ says he thinks 3D Wave moved to Spain. He thinks.
okay, well, I'm not sure where. I know that I just know they're not in the U.S. and um, but they're a good company. They've oh yeah, they had to get away from Russia fighting now. Uh, yeah, that's a good place. In fact, I think the one now is say 3dwave.us, but I think it's still any other country. That's just the link you use, I guess, if you want English or whatever. But that's a pretty good place to get models. So I don't know. I think the jury's out as far as I'm concerned on the easy carve. Does anybody say anything yay or nay about it in the
No.
chat here? I'm not really paying attention to the stuff here.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I definitely like stuff stored locally on my machine. Even though half the time I
Yeah, I
can't
agree
find
with
it
Russ on that.
for it, I'd still rather have it on my machine. Do not like any of that cloud business or any of that stuff. So, all right, let's see what else I got here to talk about. Let's see. We talked about the Molly bits.
Yeah.
That's I can't wait to get those. I thought I saw somebody say in the chat. I might have missed it, but I think I saw somebody say they were shipping today or whatever.
Yeah, I guess he had already shipped a whole bunch of them. I was trying to just sign in there, but I'm having computer problems as always.
Okay. Well, well, it'd probably still be next week. Well, let's see, what's the day? Wednesday. Yeah, it'd probably still be next week. Yeah, three quarter is the size dog holes I made, Jerry, and then just one nice thing, and I think one reason why I decided to try the dog holes this time is because of this right back here. Now that I've got a printer that I can just draw something up real quick in Design Spark Mechanical and go send it over there, and I don't even stick around and wait for it to start. I just click and go do something else, and everything always comes out so nice on that thing. But the only time I've ever had an issue is when I neglect cleaning the build plate, and I've had too many potato chips or something.
Oh yeah.
And then I might, if I'm doing something wide, I get a corner lifting or something, and then I'm like, you knucklehead, you should have cleaned the bed with some alcohol before you started that.
Well, I tell you what, these cryo grip plates are insane. Like the grippiness of them is pretty nuts.
Now, are they pretty smooth, are they? Or do they have a texture like the other ones?
They the one that I got the one with the texture on it.
Oh, okay.
But they have another one that is smoother. But it's you can they say you can print cooler with them. Like PLA, you can do 30 to 50 degrees C. And PETG 50 to 70 degrees C.
Wow.
Yeah, and it sticks. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just for the first time probably a week ago. I'm still running the stock plate on my bamboo here, and probably for the first time about a week or so ago, I thought, you know what? I never tried this other side. It's basically the same thing. So,
Yeah,
so I tried the other side, and yeah, it works just as good as the first side. But yeah, keep them wiped off good, and they'll work great. But that because I now have a printer that not only prints fast but prints much nicer prints than these two old dinosaurs back here. Uh, that's why I decided to go ahead and give the dog holes a try because the sky's the limit on what I want to print to fit in those dog holes.
yeah,
Um, so that's why I use those.
cool. I've got a fun project, but I can't talk about it yet.
Another one?
Yeah. Well, no. This is a 3D printing project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I just printed the last pieces that I needed. So it'll be a video coming out pretty soon.
All right, we love videos.
Those
Love
build
videos.
plates that Clyde wants a link for the build plates. They're on, what is it, Bink?
BQ, yeah, you can they BIQU or something like that. You can get them on Amazon, and I got mine actually from Micro Center, but or you can go to BQ's Big Tree Tech's website.
Yeah, Clyde, if you come across the border and just north of Detroit a little ways is Madison Heights, and there is a micro center there, and I'm sure they take Canadian money, or if not, they take Canadian Visa.
Yeah, or just just come across the state line. And
Yeah, just wait till you become the 51st state.
yeah, then you
Yeah,
cross the
that's
line.
right. Yeah, you don't have to wait long.
Yeah.
Uh,
Of course, Clyde's old like me, so
yeah, he probably can't afford to wait. Let's maybe Masso will donate one for you to advertise. Well, I can't complain, Clyde, because the Masso second generation that I'm using was given to me by Jat when he first, well, I won't say first started the company, but in their early years. I've had that thing about 9 years, I think, and it works great. But I do tag them in all my videos. Just any of my social media posts and stuff, I do make sure I tag them, let them know I'm rocking the second generation and would love to have a G3 Meso Touch, but I'll get one eventually anyway. I can't hold out forever. I'll have to get one eventually. But
Clyde says he's got American money.
Very good.
oh, he's got American money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I haven't been paying any attention to the chat. I guess has anything slipped by that I need to know about?
Russ says that you should look at the laser 3D illusion models. Really looks 3D carved. Sweet. Have to check that out.
Okay, let's see. What did he say? Laser 3D illusion models.
Yeah, they do look good.
Okay. I've done. In fact, I think I still got it around here somewhere. This might be it here. This was a
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
epoxy pour. It didn't turn out as it's kind of scratched up now from sitting around. What is that? I got something on. But yeah, I started out doing this in one color and I didn't like it, so I changed the color up, and then I still don't like it. It probably looks better in that on video than it does in person because it's kind of faded and stuff. In
Yeah, I
person.
think it looks pretty good.
But I've also done one. It's probably long since been in the fire pit because I keep stuff around for a while and then I eventually throw it away and burn it up in the fire pit. But I made one that's like, and I know y'all have seen it. It's like the round ball, and then it's got the different size things to make it look like some kind of a 3D illusion type thing. But I've carved that on the. I think I did that on the Avid way back in the day.
Sweet. Very cool.
Oh man. Let's see. Russ says he just put out some lions with cubs that looks amazing. Okay. What's now this is what did he say the name of that thing was? I already missed it.
Laser 3D illusion.
Laser 3D. Okay, so are their models comparably priced with like 3D Wave?
It's on 3D Wave. It's just a
Okay. So it's a part of that.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I still get not that often, but every once in a while I get emails when they've got a new batch of stuff. I probably am so used to just deleting them because I don't even look at them. But I got one just the other day. I'll have to go
How's
go
Al
check that
tonight?
out. Big Al in the house. How you doing, Al?
Nice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I guess we'll. I think I've talked about everything on my list. You guys got anything you want to talk about? You got any rants for this week, Ryan?
I got tons of rants. I could go on and on about this stupid baseball field. We didn't. They tore down the old baseball field, the old baseball stadium, and because we didn't have a team anymore. And then they decided to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on this new stadium that they decided to put in the middle of town where there's no parking. And we didn't even have a team. A bunch of idiots. That first inning started, there wasn't even 100 people in the stands.
Well, there's no place to park.
Well, yeah, you have to like past the outfield, and there's a parking garage down there that the city gets you for $10. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a good time. Hey, I'm going to be on location this Saturday night.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Is that
your,
for sure
your
now?
cables and your chargers and
Oh yeah,
Yep.
we're
all that
bringing
good stuff.
we're bringing everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, computers, monitors, everything is coming down. And we're going to be on location for the next 2 weeks.
Ooh. Why?
All right.
That'll be good times.
All right. Paul, you got any parting words or anything?
No, you're making me look bad with your organization.
Well, Ryan, I don't think you were in here yet when Paul and I were talking about it. I was a little bit disappointed because Paul, my video come out at 8 a.m. this morning. He hasn't even watched it yet. And I made that video, part of it, for Paul. The router bit tray, for crying out loud.
Well, I will watch it.
I watched it.
Oh, you just say that, probably.
No, I did.
He commented. I know he watches.
Okay.
He might have watched 2 seconds of it, but he commented.
No, I watched the whole thing. I always watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I will watch it.
Good.
Okay.
Of course, now I know what it's about.
Speaking of watching the whole thing, my video last week about the CNC is not real woodworking.
Oh yeah.
I knew because I'm not a deep diver into the YouTube analytics thing, but I do look at some of the main things that I see on YouTube Studio. And one of those is average view duration. It doesn't matter if I put out a 30-minute video, a 15-minute video, or a 2-minute video.
Yep.
My average view duration is going to be anywhere from 25 to 35% of the video. In other words, if I put a 10-minute video out, the average view duration will be, 2.5 minutes or 3 or 4 minutes tops or something like that. It's just the way it is. And I'm like, I guess I'm weird because usually when I click on a video, if I'm going to click off of it, stop watching, it's usually within the first few things. I go, oh, well, this ain't what I thought it was, or, this isn't talking about what I want to hear. This isn't going to work. Other than that, I pretty much watch it all the way through. Most times give them a thumbs up if it kept my attention for that long. Or even if it doesn't. Let's say I'm watching a video and it's boring. I may just pick up my phone, go do something else, but I leave it on the TV. So they're still getting the view time. But I'm like, man, they don't do that to me because it's about 25% of it. So I knew when I did that video about the CNC thing that I was going to ruffle some feathers because people are too stupid to watch to the end where they saw me back out and show that sign that says sarcasm.
Yep.
And anybody that knows me, and of course, most of my viewers are not subscribers and, just pass by on it, I guess. But anybody that knows me should know, especially if you've been following me a really long, long time, because I've been doing YouTube almost since YouTube's been around. And I have always been one of the first and hardest to fight about CNC stuff because I used to always catch the crap way back in the day, way before all these other punks that are running CNCs now. They were still in school probably back then. But I've always been fussing with commenters going, yeah, it is real world working. What's the difference? No different than a power saw or a, table saw or what have you. So I thought it was funny that I would get people and I could just tell. I'm like, yeah, they watched just enough to be able to tell what the sign said and then went straight to the comments. Yeah. So anyway, I thought, man, that's, like I said, you could tell the people that don't know me because anybody that knows me knows that I was just being a sarcastic, what, when I made that sign. And it's going to hang proudly in my shop, by the way. I'm going to hang it. I hate that it's so hot that I'm having to do the show from in here because I had it in the background. It'll be prominently displayed for all to see.
It's going to be the next T-shirt
in my shop, but anyway, all right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. We've been at it about an hour or so. Hope y'all enjoyed what we talked about tonight, and if not, give us a topic to talk about. Tell me what you want to hear. If you don't, we'll just keep making stuff up.
That's right. That's all you can
Not
do.
necessarily making it up as we go. We got some other guy that does that, but
now you write your shit down.
Yeah. All right. Well, if nobody else has any parting words, I'll see if I can find the proper outro here, and we will get on that. Don't forget to go get your Molly bits, folks. Get them while they still got them, because I got a feeling they'll sell out.
Oh yeah,
eventually if they're not already. So,
they at the beginning of the show, I could still order one.
Okay. Well, good.
I wasn't able to because my computer's garbage, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, good night, everybody, and we will see y'all next week. Be sure and head over to R. Ballard Designs Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and he'll be live on location.
Thank you, sir.
Check him out. See y'all.
See ya.